that's not full. Something.
No, this is going on YouTube. Are you filming?
Yeah.
Okay. So, haven't vlogged in a couple days. This is the, I think, 3rd episode on the channel. Tonight, we're gonna make some really gnarly progress. I'm currently shot vacuuming out the really old, like 25-year-old installation in the panel. My ingénieur, who will remain nameless because of we want to protect his identity.
Oh, well, then I shouldn't have recorded his face.
Unless he later approves that segment. Tonight we're going to lay down the floor. There's a couple of topics of discussion that go along with insulation. There's paint insulation, there's foam insulation, there's Radeon X foil sheet space blanket looking insulation. The order in which that gets done is really important. But stay tuned because tonight we should be making a lot of progress. Want to give a shout out to our unofficial sponsors, Domino's, Red Bull, beer, period.
Anybody that makes beer.
And Mini Cooper, so.
Working hard. Hardly working.
Rounding the corners?
Yeah,
Or
we're just gonna turn a little bit here. Dude, it's not a hat trick.
Well, this one's insulated, this one's not. So it makes
Oh,
sense.
dude, use that one for sure. Come on.
So, making really good progress so far. Cutting insulation for the floor. The insulation outlines are going to be the outlines for the plywood on top of the insulation. Anyways, we got into a discussion. It is officially September 2nd. I have until the 31st, and then I officially have no more apartment to fall back on.
And you're gone for a week.
And I'm gone for a week. Next week, I'll be out of the country. So any progress on the van is going to come to a slow, complete halt. Question is, does it make sense that the guy who elected to live in a van is still less stressed than the guy who elected to help the guy live in the van? Question, Chris, the guy who elected to help the guy live in the van, how stressed are you?
I don't know if we can make it. I'm kind of worried, man.
Chris is nervous. Do people who live in vans live legitimately stress-free lives? Or do they deal with stress that other people don't know? Do people who live in vans...
Pawn stress off on others.
It's just not as far along as we thought. Anyways, episode over.
Let's get working.
Let's get working.
Let's get
back
working.
to Hold on, let me see what you're saying.
I'll let you cut it. I'm gonna hold it.
Let's maybe not do this.
Okay, so it's approximately 11 o'clock at night. I think. What time do we start?
8, 7. I lost
2.5,
track of time.
3 hours ish. This is what the van's looking like. Lay down some insulation. Lay down some plywood. On top of this is gonna be my hardwood flooring. We're gonna chop some like 2 to 3 foot boards and stagger them. It's gonna be some dark and light wood. It's gonna look really dope. Cover it with some death fang. Anyways, I wanted to point out something for anybody who's wanting to attempt this. For the record, I have done a ton of YouTubing and research, and so far, big priority is good insulation. I work at a bike shop part-time, and a super rad customer redid his Airstream. We told him about the van. He was like, I got something for you, and he brought me this bundle of like Radeon barrier, and it's like a space blanket, and it's gonna keep out the heat. And so we're gonna pull this plywood up real quick, tape down some insulation, put the plywood back, and then if it's not too late, maybe start on some flooring, and it's gonna be rad. Space blanket!
Just make sure my ass is in the picture frame.
We're rolling, bro.
Oh shit.
This is Christopher, my engineer. We're about to turn my van into a giant cookie sheet, guys. We're gonna do the world's most cookies baked in one time Guinness World Record. This whole van thing was a giant hoax. Ha! Alright, this thing's foiled out, man.
Tricked out.
Tricked out with some foil. Foil. About to lay in the plywood. About to lay in the plywood. It is about it's about midnight. We made some pretty gnarly progress. If you haven't already seen the time lapse, it's like super short. Just watch that. That's like an hour and a half's worth of work or more or less. I wanted to show you guys before I wrap it up because I'm pretty stoked about it. I'm going to lay down some wood, some hardwood like that. So I've got one layer of insulation, 1/2 inch underneath my plywood. I did that radium barrier stuff. 1/4 inch plywood, I think we could have afforded to go a little bit thinner, but I don't regret the 1/4 inch. I think it's gonna be it's gonna do a lot for stability. And then these pieces of hardwood that I kind of pirated them. Somebody in their bulk trash, I think they redid something in their house. So we just kind of checked out the wood and kept what we thought was good. Once we sand and plane and even out as much as we can, we'll stain it and do a depth thing coat and stack it and stagger it like that. It should look really nice. So comment, subscribe, follow, all that dumb jazz, and keep following the updates on the van. Later, good night.